Okay, this is your 2023 mains question. If you have observed, public administration horizons. Horizons means what? You can reinterpret. Horizons means you can take it as also what it was? Scope. Expanding to cater to the complex needs of citizens in globalized era. Fine. So the question is what they are telling. As remember, to an extent it is related to the stages of evolution kind of a one. The demand is that in the present times, globalized era, public administration has been continuously expanding because the needs of the citizens have become more and more complicated or complex. Understood? So in and around what you have to tell, you should talk about broadly. You should talk about what? Network governance should be your core, should be the core aspect or the good governance aspects. We'll come to that. I'll dictate the answer itself. Please write. Broader, structure wise, I'll tell you. In the intro, what you should write? Write about, because it is talking about expanding the horizons, context itself you clarify. Please write public administration as a study. Public administration as a study, that is as a discipline. Public administration as a study originated with the publication of essay by Woodrow Wilson. With the publication of the essay by Woodrow Wilson. There is the study of administration in Political Science Quarterly in 1887. So those words matter a lot because that is what is making you provide specific language. Essay of Woodrow Wilson, that is study of administration. The study of administration should be in single inverted. In Political Science Quarterly, single inverted. In 1887. The study of administration in Political Science Quarterly in 1887. Right? And that is the context. Of course, it's a 10 marker, you do not have more scope. Next, as a linking, what you have to tell, it has been expanding, clarify below. In 20th century, the scope and horizon of public administration, the scope and horizons of public administration has continuously changed as the role of the state has continuously evolved, as the role of the government, as the role of the state, as the role of the government has continuously evolved. So where is it reflected? This is reflected in Nicholas Henry's. This is reflected in Nicholas Henry's various paradigms of evolution of public administration. Nicholas Henry's various paradigms of evolution of public administration. You have to be more quick. Reflected in Nicholas Henry's various paradigms of the evolution of public administration. You know that various paradigms. That we can't write here because what is it? It's a 10 marker and that's not the core demand. If it's a 15, maybe at least you could have mentioned. Maybe if it's a 20, here you can't mention. Now again clarify. In the context of NPM, new right philosophy and good governance, the horizons of public administration has expanded. Fine. Now this is the core part, body part. Address that. First point, keep writing kind of a points. Globalization led to globalization led to a more interconnected world. Globalization led to a more interconnected world, which has created complex problems like terrorism, cyber security, climate change, etc. Fine. Hence, what has happened? Hence, public administration should, or government should also, you can say, hence government should collaborate with international organizations and countries and various countries. Governments should collaborate with international organizations and various countries to resolve these concerns, to address these concerns. Fine, then next one, network governance argues that state should work along with other actors. Like private sector and civil society to cater to the needs of citizens. And whenever you get network governance, just write this diagram, kind of an illustration. Work with other actors like private sector and civil society to cater to the complex needs of citizens. And just write that illustration. Example you write. For example, PPP projects. So many are there. That all specific examples you write. For example, PPP projects. Fine. And NGOs for what? NGOs for education, healthcare, etc. So many you have. Akshay Patra, this, that, so many. NGOs for, or SHGs, something like that. NGOs, SHGs for education, healthcare, self-employment, this, that, so many things. Fine. The next one, the demands of citizens. For quality services. The demands of citizens for quality services has increased post globalization. How is it reflected? This led to evolution of neo-Weberian state. I think that question also I have asked, probably that is in your chapter page test 2. This led to the evolution of neo-Weberian state. Neo-Weberian state. Where is it reflected? Whenever you keep getting the keywords, keep underlining. That is, make it a rule. If you make it a rule, that gets reflected in your exam also. It is reflected in Citizens Charter, RTI, social audits, outcome based governance or outcome budgeting itself. RTI, Citizens Charter, social audit, outcome budgeting, etc. Because people are demanding more, you have to cater to that. Fine. Then if you want to again link with the efforts of World Bank, with the efforts of World Bank, good governance has become a universal phenomena. With the efforts of World Bank, good governance has become a universal phenomena, especially in where? Developing countries. Good governance has become a universal phenomena, especially in the developing countries. Especially in the developing countries. Fine, that's why what has increased. Hence the focus on ease of doing business, justice delivery, transparency, accountability has increased a lot. Fine. Yeah, these are all that broadly in and around that you have to write, because and you have to play with the words. You have to bring, see, network governance, you have to bring good governance, neo-Iberian state, all the points from wherever, from various chapters, you have to bring it here. Fine. Now again counter it below. However, another dimension here. However, what is kept on continuing. However, the traditional role of the state. However, the traditional role of the state has not changed. However, the traditional role of the state has not changed. Traditional role of the state has not changed. Even today, state is responsible for, the state is responsible for providing, the core needs of citizens. The core needs of citizens like education, healthcare, drinking water, sanitation, etc. Education, healthcare, sanitation, etc. Where is it reflected? It is reflected in the universal welfare state concept, especially in developing countries. It is reflected in the universal welfare state concept. Means across the world you will find that welfare state concept, especially in the developing countries. Especially in the developing countries. Especially in the developing countries. And what it has also led to, below you can clarify, in the globalized era, developing countries are facing huge challenges. Developing countries are facing huge challenges in addressing the problems of increasing inequality, environmental degradation, more focus on profit and productivity, and dilution of democratic values and ethos, dilution of the democratic values and ethos. Fine. Hence, clarify below. As said by Dwight Waldo, public administration is a dynamic discipline. As said by Dwight Waldo, public administration is a dynamic discipline. And what it does? Its scope will keep changing, or you can use the same word, horizons. Its horizons its horizons will keep changing. Its horizons will keep changing according to the evolution of the government in action or role of the state. According to the evolution of the role of the state. Fine. However, what will never happen? However, its relevance in society will never be undermined. However, its relevance in the society, will never be undermined. Its relevance in society will never be undermined. Its relevance in the society will never be undermined. And what will always remain at the core? What is the core? Obviously, as we keep telling, public interest will always remain the core, staple core of public administration. Public interest will always remain the staple core. Staple means permanent kind of a one. Very important. Public interest will always remain the staple core. And what will keep changing? The periphery will keep vacillating. Vacillating means changing. The periphery will keep vacillating. VACILLATING. And this should be the in and around the framework should be like this. You can add 1 or 2 points extra, that's all left to you because there is no fixed answers for this. But in and around this you have to write. How it has kept on. See, you can't directly start with globalization even here. How it has kept on, that is how it discipline has evolved. And today, what is the core? How it, all these angles you need to bring. Then counter it. Then you tell whatever the point is, as said by Dwight Waldo, the core will never ever change.